Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for January 24th. January 24th is the 24th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 341 days remaining to the end of the year, except in leap years, in which case there are 342 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is incompatible. Incompatible is an adjective that means incapable of association or harmonious coexistence, such as incompatible colors or a situation in which, say, great friends discover that their living habits are completely incompatible when they try to share an apartment. Incompatible can describe things that are unsuitable for use together because of an undesirable chemical or physiological effect, such as incompatible medications or maybe a printer that is incompatible with certain types of computers. Incompatible can also indicate situations where two things are not both true, such as incompatible statements, or a case where the spoken statement is incompatible with the physical evidence. The word incompatible comes to us from Latin. First known use of the word incompatible is in the 1400s. Incompatible. The word incompatible was suggested by YouTube viewer at KMM129. Thank you so much. And if you have a word you'd like us to examine in this Word of the Day segment, put it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, I've gone on and on about King Henry VIII before. He got married 6 times, ostensibly because he was trying to produce a male heir, but probably also about as equally because he had a wandering eye. And when the Pope wouldn't give him an annulment on his first marriage, he started the English Reformation, created his own church, and a bunch of edicts and laws to inflate himself and his own power. He had been crowned king in 1509, just a couple months before he turned 18. And on January 24th, 1536, he would have been in his mid 40s, he was thrown from his horse during a jousting tournament. He sustained a life threatening injury but survived, and it's thought that in addition to the physical effects of that injury, he might also have suffered a brain injury that affected his thinking and behavior after that. On January 24th, 1848, a man named James W. Marshall found gold at Sutter's Mill near Sacramento, California. This discovery set off what is known as the California Gold Rush, bringing some 300,000 people to California to seek their fortunes and put California on the fast track to statehood. The 20th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified on January 24th, 1933. This one did a few things. First, it moved the beginning and end of the presidency and vice presidency from March 4th to January 20th, and for members of Congress from March 4th to January 3rd. It also discusses what should happen if someone has been elected to particularly president or vice president, but I believe Congress is also included to that. If someone has been elected to one of those positions but is unable to serve for whatever reason, there's a discussion of what should happen in that case. This is the birthday of singer-songwriter Neil Diamond, born January 24th, 1941. Very successful artist, Neil Diamond, with dozens of albums and even more singles. He's one of the best-selling musicians of all time, having sold more than 130 million records worldwide, and 10 songs that have hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. We've talked about some of his songs before in the Song of the Day section. He's been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's had some movie and television acting parts, too. Neil Diamond doesn't do tours anymore due to health issues, but he is still involved in music. My goodness, Neil Diamond turns 83 in 2024. Happy birthday, Neil Diamond. After atomic bombs were dropped on Japan in 1945 during World War II, the United Nations got to work on putting together some sort of resolution to eliminate the use of nuclear weapons. and on January 24th, 1946, passed its first resolution to establish the United Nations Atomic Energy Commission. This is the birthday of American singer-songwriter Warren Zevon, born January 24th, 1947. He started out in the music industry as a session musician. He had written some songs, recorded some records, but didn't get much notice until other artists began recording some of his songs, like Linda Ronstadt with Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me and Hasten Down the Wind. Some of his most famous songs, Werewolves of London and Lawyers, Guns, and Money, appear on his third album, Excitable Boy, released in 1978. He had some personal and career ups and downs, struggled with a drug and alcohol problem, stepped away from the spotlight, and made a comeback a couple times. In 2002, he began to feel ill, and in September of 2003, passed away from mesothelioma at the age of 56. Warren Zevon. Now, just the other day, we mentioned that awesome 1984 themed commercial for the Apple Macintosh computer that aired during the Super Bowl in 1984, and it was today, January 24th, 1984, that the Macintosh personal computer went on sale in the United States. And before we move on to today's song, I'll leave a link to a previous episode for January 24th, just in case you'd like to see what else I might have talked about for January 24th. Today's song is Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Written by Warren Zevon, Leroy Marinell, and Waddy Wachtel, and produced by Jackson Brown and Waddy Wachtel. The idea for this song came from Phil Everly of the Everly Brothers, and didn't we just talk about them yesterday? Phil Everly had watched the 1935 movie Werewolves of London on TV and suggested, perhaps as a joke, that Warren used that idea for a song title and a dance craze. He worked it up, but didn't take it seriously. But then Jackson Brown saw the song and started performing it during his live concerts. Eventually, Warren Zevon did record it and included it on his 1978 Excitable Boy album, and the song took off, much to Warren's surprise. Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, check out the playlist that contains these videos, and I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again and all. See you next time. This is the birthday.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you. John, are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. We got to make that be quiet. You got to read the black part. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for, where's your microphone? Okay, we don't want to say the same thing twice. Get your microphone. What is it with you and this microphone? Okay, here we go. Okay, we are still recording. That's great. Okay. How about that? We'll have a lot to edit today. Cacophony is a sound. Cacophony is a noun that you got to read it the right way. Let's start over. It's 8 o'clock, so all of the reminders are going to be dinging. I forgot to turn those off. Okay, stop it. It's 8 o'clock. Don't alienate people who can be helpful to you. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.